Many of our clients work for corporations that offer generous employer savings plans. Some of these plans might include things like group RSPs, defined contribution pension plans, even stock options. But what we're seeing more and more is a lot of clients being offered restricted stock units or RSUs. And while many of our clients understand the benefits of these RSUs, they don't always understand the tax ramifications that come with RSU plans. In today's case study, we're going to be looking at a client that we recently assisted named John. John was employed by a prominent Canadian telecom company and was continuing to benefit from his company's generous RSU program. We'll highlight the strategic financial choices we helped him to make to help unlock the potential of his RSU program, all while minimizing his tax liability. Restricted stock units, or RSUs, are a valuable component of an employee compensation package. These units represent a promise by the employer to provide the employee shares of the company's stock after a predetermined amount of time, known as the vesting period. Unlike stock options, RSUs don't have an exercise price. Instead, the RSUs are granted outright as stock at the time of vesting. And the value of the RSU is determined by the company's stock price when the RSUs vest. Now that we know a little bit more about RSUs, let's go back to the case of John. John is currently working, but was looking to take money out of his portfolio in order to make a down payment on a vacation property. The problem that John had was that most of his money was tied up in registered retirement savings plans, or RRSPs. The prospect of taking money out of an RRSP meant that he could be taxed at 50% on any withdrawals that he made. This 50% tax rate on any RSP withdrawals, of course, was very discouraging for John. Fortunately for John, he possessed a substantial amount of RSUs that had vested from his employer savings program. In fact, he had 5,000 shares of vested RSUs. At the time he received these RSUs after the vesting period, they were worth $100, and today they were worth $130. This meant that on his 5,000 shares, he had $150,000 worth of profit. Leveraging this asset, we were able to develop a strategic plan that allowed John to recognize his dream of owning a vacation property, all while minimizing his tax liability. Our recommendation to John was to sell his vested company stock and recognize a better tax rate of 25% of the capital gains versus a 50% tax rate on anything he would have taken out of his RRSP. His adjusted cost base, or ACB, was $500,000, while the current market value was $650,000 on his shares. This meant that John had a capital gain of $150,000. With half of this gain taxable at his marginal tax rate of 50%, John's total tax liability amounted to $37,500. In an alternative scenario, had John withdrawn the same $150,000 from his RSP, the tax implications would have been far greater, with the entire amount being taxed at his marginal tax rate. Consequently, the $75,000 tax burden on the RSP withdrawal would have doubled his tax expense. By thoughtfully planning John's financial decision, he was able to recognize his dream of owning the vacation property and not paying more tax than he needed to. This decision to tap into his vested RSUs ultimately saved John $37,500 in taxes. Just as John's situation underscores, strategic financial planning can make a huge impact on recognizing long-term financial goals, offering financial security, and maximizing opportunities for prosperity. And that's it for today's video. If you'd like to learn more about this strategy and whether it's applicable to you, our team at Ferguson Financial Planning would be pleased to help. You can always schedule a consultation with us using the link below in our description. Additionally, you can check out the articles on our website where we often update with information like this and investment tips. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you found this information useful. Thank you for watching.